Okay, last week we looked at file management. Then we are going to look at Microsoft Word. We are going to build from where we started last week. Who wants to record? So what is Microsoft Word? This is an application program by Microsoft Corporation, and it comes in the Office suite. Normally the Office suite has various application programs. We have there Microsoft Word, there's Microsoft Excel, there's Microsoft PowerPoint, there's Access, there's Publisher. Now of recent, there's also Project, which helps you to do project work. You can design a project using Microsoft Project. And this comes in so many versions. Like we have Microsoft Word 2007, 2000, 2010, 2013, 2016, 19. However, today Microsoft is moving to the cloud. Microsoft is moving to the cloud and is now using Microsoft 365 because it wants to do away with desktop applications. So Microsoft wants to put everything in the cloud. Those of you who do with me information technology, we shall discuss what the cloud is. So beginning with Microsoft 365, everything is going to be done in the cloud. And it has so many advantages whereby your files can save automatically into the cloud without any interference. In case you change a computer, automatically you can retrieve your files. So Microsoft Word is used to create documents that don't require calculations or database storage. In MS Word environment. So we are going to look at MS Word environment, but these are the things that we are going to look at, and I want you to pay extra attention on these things as we are going to see them. One, we shall talk of the title bar, menu bar, ribbon, groups, text area. As I'm going to send this handout in the group, you don't need to fight to write. But when I start explaining one by one, then you have to write down the definitions. Because we shall have a quiz. We shall have a quiz exam, which is going to be online, and it is going to test this. We shall be testing this to see if you know these terminologies. So we shall look text area, cursor, launch buttons, all of these we are going to see. Quick access, toolbars, scroll bars, control box, ruler, zoom slider, documents, and so on. These are terminologies which we are going to see what they do. Then we shall do with working with the documents. We shall see how we create a document, how we add text to a document, creating a new paragraph, adding text anywhere on the screen, deleting text, saving documents, using save as, opening existing documents. Then we shall look at formatting documents and text. Then we shall look at formatting characters and formatting graphs. No. Okay, sorry about the interruption. You know, I'm in office and I have other things to attend to. So I will be on and off, but I'm back. So formatting paragraphs, that is, if time allows, we shall see how we format paragraphs. Okay. Let me stop sharing this screen. Any questions so far? Any question before I proceed? Let me share the handout in the group. Okay. I have shared it in the group. Hope you have got it. So let us begin with the Windows environment. Let's begin with the Windows environment. That's the environment you see there. That's how Microsoft Word looks like when you open it. So those of you on your computer, to open Microsoft Word, you sit down there is search. So down there is search on the taskbar. So just type there Word. The application will bring itself. Then you click on it, it will open. So I have an open screen with you. So let us look at the environment. We begin with the title bar. So up there where you see document 1, that is the title bar. The title bar gives us the name of the document in which we are working in. Remember, when we are creating files and folders, we give each file a name. So even the document you create in Microsoft Word, it will be given a name. The name you give it will come up on the title bar, and at the same time, the title bar will be showing you, it will be showing you the document in which you are working in. Then from the title bar, we have a menu bar. So next is a menu bar. You see where is file, home, insert, and so on. That is a menu bar. So a menu bar has various tools that we use to navigate through Microsoft Word. And under the menu bar, we have what we call the ribbon. Now, the ribbon displays various tools inside a given menu. Say, for example, when you click on the Home tab, you can see we have various tools on the ribbon. When you click on the Insert tab, the ribbon will change and you have various tools. When you click on Draw, it will change click on design. So the issue, what we are going to learn in this application is how to use these various tools. We shall basically begin with the home tab. And you'll find that most of the tools that you use are either under home tab or insert, layout. That's where these three are the major ones: home, insert, layout, and a few under the design tab. We are going to see all of the tools in various tabs. Now, the ribbon is further divided into groups. The ribbon is further divided into groups. As you can see, each group has a demarcation where it ends. Like this is the clipboard group, ends there. Then the font group ends there. Paragraph group ends there. Styles group, and so on and so forth. Even when you go to the insert tab, you have the pages group, tables group, illustrations group, media group, links. So we have various groups. So the ribbon is divided into groups. Then we have text area. Text area, this is where we type our work from. So whatever you're going to type will come inside the text area. That is text area. Then we have that blinking cursor. So that blinking cursor where it is, that is where the text you type will go. So if the blinking cursor is in the middle here, so it means what I type will get there. If it is at the end, what I type will come to the end. That is the blinking cursor there. It tells you the position where the text will be placed. Then we have the launch buttons. Now at every group, its end has that small button there. That one we call it the launch button. Every group has that small launcher button. So what does the launch button do? Please mute your mics. Mute your mics. Make sure your mics are muted. I don't want to mute you all because some people may have to ask questions. Someone is making noise in the background. Mute your mics. Okay, let's continue. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
we can hear you.
Okay, let's continue. Now, when you look at these launch buttons, now each group here has tools, but not all the tools are there in the group. Here they just show a few basic tools. But if you need more tools from that group, you can click a launcher button there. So when you click on it, it's going to bring you more tools for that group. Okay. So you can see we have more tools, we have more options. So each launcher button you click on will give you more tools for that group. So in case you don't see a tool among these ones which you want to use, say for example, there's a tool you want to use in the font group and you don't see it. So just click on the launcher button and you have another tools. Like when you, that is font, but when you come to advanced, now the tools in advanced, like the scaling, the spacing, they are not there. Okay, we shall see what scaling is and what spacing is. But when you look here, these tools are not there. Okay. Then let's look at the quick access toolbar. So up here, you have a quick access toolbar. which has the saving button, has the undo and the redo. So the quick access toolbar helps you to get quick tasks. You can add more tools on it, or you can remove them by clicking on the drop down arrow against it. So if this is the drop down arrow against it, so when you click on it, you can customize what you want on the quick access toolbar. Now here, it is showing me it has automatic save, it has the save button, it has undo, it has the redo. But if I want to add the email, I will click on it. If I want to add a quick print, when I click on it, you can see the quick print has come. Remove it, you get back, you click back on the item, it disappears. So this is the quick access toolbar. Then we have the scroll bars. The scroll bars, we have the horizontal scroll bar, sorry, vertical scroll bar. So on your left here, you can click and hold, you drag up, you drag down. Then we have the horizontal scroll bar. Now the horizontal scroll bar comes automatically when the screen is big. So if the screen is big, so it will come automatically for you to be able to scroll along your screen. But if the screen is small, it will automatically disappear. So it will not be there. So it is automatic. As long as the screen is wide, it will automatically come. That is the horizontal one. But the vertical one is usually there. The vertical one is usually there. So you can scroll up and down. Okay. Then we have the control boxes. The control boxes are these ones at the end here. We have the minimize, we have the restore and the close. So you can close from here, you can minimize. When do you use the minimize? Say if a friend comes to your desk and wants to see your work which you are doing. So if you don't want that person to see your work, you can just click on the minimize and the work will go down on the taskbar. So when you need it, you just click on it and it will come back. When you click on a minimize, it doesn't mean you have shut down the work. No. You have only minimized it. So some of you do that mistake in the exam. You minimize the work and you think the work is lost. After working for 30 minutes, then you start afresh. You open a new document and you start afresh thinking your work is lost. No, it's not lost. The work is down on the taskbar. Those terms, taskbar, they were explained in computer literacy. So I assume all of you did computer literacy and you know these terms. If you didn't do computer literacy, go back, go to Google and check for what is a taskbar. You'll see it. So these are the control buttons here. You can close, you can minimize, and maximize. Then we have the ruler. We have a horizontal ruler and a vertical ruler. So the ruler helps you to measure your screen. Say, you see the white space here on this horizontal ruler here. So it means whatever text we type will be within the limits of that ruler. So if I type a text, as you see, so when it gets to the end of the ruler, the text will automatically get down. Because according to my ruler, this is the beginning of the sentence and this is the end of the sentence. That is according to the ruler. However, you can adjust this by bringing your mouse over to the end of the ruler and turns into that double arrow you see. So when you click and you can drag and increase, you reduce the margin. Same applies to the left. You bring your mouse, again, you click and you drag, so you can adjust your margins. We shall see later on how to adjust margins, but this is the manual way of doing it. We shall see later on how to make it better when we come to margins. Same applies to bottom and top margin. So this is the bottom margin, and this is the top margin. As you can see, our text begins here, which is in line with this. You can also adjust it. Even the bottom one, you can adjust it. So that is the ruler. However, you can put the ruler or you can remove it. I know some of you now, you may be wondering, you don't have rulers on your screen. So in case you don't have the ruler, you want it, you click on the view button. Under view button, you'll be able to see ruler. So under the view button, you have ruler. So when I remove the tick, the ruler disappears. When I put the tick, so this one puts the ruler there and removes it. You can also put grid lines into your screen by clicking on grid lines. But by default, Word has no grid lines. Okay. This is another terminology. That is the zoom slider. So the zoom slider is this one down here at the bottom. So you can increase your page by clicking and dragging and make it bigger. It shows you the percentage, or you can reduce the page by making it smaller. But by default, the page comes at 100%. So you can also click here to reduce it. You can click there to increase it. So this is a common problem. Some people, sometimes their pages come when they are small, and they call a technician that my computer has got a virus, which reduces things. No, it's not a virus. Whenever your screen, the letters are too small, you can always use the zoom slider to increase them. You can as well also go to the view button. Under the view button, you see you have the zoom there. So when you click on zoom, so you can zoom to 200 and then you say okay. Or you can zoom to page width. There are various, you can use one page. You can use multiple pages. That is if you have more pages. You can use page width. Page width will finish the screen. So all of those are zoom. You can either do it from here or you can do it under the view button. Then let's look at document views. Let me open here a document which can help me to. Okay, so if I have a document like this, I can view it in various ways. So the first view here, if you click on this view, it gives you the web layout view. So web layout view, as you can see, it has no page one, no page two, no whatsoever. So it's just like a website. That is the web layout view. It views it as a website. So in case your work turns into that, just know you have accidentally clicked any of the views here. So it even indicates. Then we have the print layout view. So normally the print layout view, that's where we work from. So in case your work is in this view and you can't tell which is page one, which is page two, just come down here and convert it to print layout view. Then we have another view which is called the reading mode. Now the reading mode removes the ribbon. It removes the ribbon, it removes also the ruler and some other tools. It's just for you to read. Then we have the focus mode. Now the focus mode removes everything. It wants you just to focus only on your text. No tool is available under the focus mode. So to go back to the normal mode from the focus mode, you'll be pressing the escape key on your keyboard. So during your practice these modes so that you get used to them. Click on the web layout and you see how your work appears. Click on the print layout, you see how it changes. Click on read mode, then focus mode. These things are going to come with the practice. However many lectures we have, if we don't do practice, we shall not gain anything. And as you know, computer today is a skill which everybody requires. Many people at their workplaces, they are suffering because they don't have this skill. So let us just not look after getting marks, but let us acquire these skills. That's why I will give you a number of assignments such that we learn how to get these skills. Please don't tell anyone to do for you the assignment. Do it yourself. Okay, let me go back to the print layout. Then let's go to the search bar. So you have a search bar up there. In case there's a tool you want and you don't know where that tool is. Now this search bar comes with some versions. I think it starts with Microsoft Word. 2010, I'm not sure whether it was there, but 2013 is there. Those of you may be using 2010, it may not be there. But 2013, 2016, 2019 onwards, it is there. So when you click on that search bar there, in case you don't know where the tables are, just type their table. So it will bring for you the tool which helps you to add tables. So in case you don't know how to underline, just type the underline. So it will bring you a tool which helps you to underline a text. So in case you don't know font size, just put a font size. So it will bring for you a tool which helps you to do the font size and so on and so forth. That is the search bar. Any questions so far before I continue? Any question? Can we assume that everything is okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
it is okay, sir.
Let us go. Now I want you to open the document I sent you in the group because you want to start working with the documents. We are going to start working with the documents. So open the document I sent you in the group and minimize it. You remember the minimize button I said? We are now moving, we are doing practical now. Open the document I sent in the group. After opening it, you minimize it. Okay. Then go back to the search bar down. Go down to the search bar down and open Microsoft Word. So you should have a new document for Microsoft Word. Go down to the search bar and type there Word and then open Word. So when you open Word, it is going to give you a screen like this at a start. So I want all of you to be at such a screen. So when you open Word, it is going to give you such a screen. And this screen has blank document.
I'm allowed to send messages in this group.
As if it's only admins who send them.
Someone is communicating about sending messages in the group. Please, you'll ask that later.
Please,
Let us first
mute
concentrate
your
on the lecture.
microphones.
Mute your mics, you are distracting others. Mute your mics. I don't want to mute all of you at once because some people may have questions to ask.
Please, the person having Galaxy S8,
Sorry?
could you please mute your microphone? Galaxy S8, please. Someone using Galaxy S8 is the one disrupting the class.
When using Galaxy 8. Okay. I have muted that person. Okay, let us continue. So when you reach this screen, let us understand the features on this screen. So we have the new one is going to create a new document. Then the open is going to open an existing document which you already created. Down here, you have recent documents which you have worked on. It will show you when it was last worked on. So sometimes some people will deceive you that they have not opened your work. So when you come here, you don't even need to ask. You just look here, the computer will tell you that that work was opened on such and such a time. Like here, you can see I opened artificial intelligence yesterday at 17 hours and 29 minutes. So there's no way I can deceive you that I never opened that file. However, if you want to remove a file from the list, you can as well also remove it by right-clicking and you click remove from the list. So in such a way, if a person does that, then you'll not be able to tell. Sorry, let me share my screen again. I closed it. All right. Then we have blank document. Now, when you click on blank document, it's going to open a new Microsoft Word, the same as new, which is empty. Now we have welcome to Microsoft Word. Now this is a tutorial which you can use, which I want you to follow in your free time to learn various features of Microsoft Word. So this is like a menu that helps you to learn Microsoft Word. When you click on it, it's going to take you through the tour of Microsoft Word. Those are most of the things we are going to study in class, but maybe some things I will not teach. But when you go through the tour, it will guide you. Then you have single spaced blank. It can give you, all these are templates which you can use. But for our class today, let us click on blank document. So we open blank document. That's how we create a file. Now we want to see how we add text to that blank document. Since it is black, so we want to add text on it. Now I have so many documents open. Let me first close some. Okay, so let's see how we add text. So there's basically two ways of adding text. I have already showed you the first one is where the blinking cursor is. That's where you add text, like when you start typing. So I'm adding text, and I add text exactly in the position where the blinking cursor is. That is one way of adding text, is where the blinking cursor is. Just a minute, someone. Okay, so that is one way. We are saying where the breaking cursor is, that's where we add the text. So if I want to add more text at the beginning, I click there, then I type. That is one way. Now, what if I want to add text here in the middle here? Okay, but remember the cursor is on the line there. But me, I don't want to add text on that line. I want to put it in the middle here. So how would we do that? So you just go where you want to add text and double click that place. So when you double click, the cursor will go there so you can be able to type. So just go to a place where you want to add text, double click, and the cursor will go there and then you type. Now we talked of the ruler and we said where the ruler stops, that's where you type. But remember, we have a margin up. So if I want to type inside this margin, automatically Word will not accept me to type anything there. But if I want to type inside the margin, again, I double click inside the margin, so I'm able to type there. Now, when you double click in the margin, you realize that these others become faint, okay? So this is enough to tell you that you have double clicked in a margin. So I have to pick some calls because some students are lost. That's why I'm picking some calls. Okay, so I've been saying that when you see this, when your work becomes faint, that means you are working inside the margin. So to get back to your normal work, just come back to your screen and double click inside here. So you get back into your work. Now, when you are here, you'll see that what is in the margin there has become faint. So that is two ways of adding text. You can either just type where the blinking cursor is, or you can double click anywhere on the screen and then you add text there. Now let us open the other work which I gave you. Let us open the work which I gave you, the file which I gave you. I assume all of you have it. So let us play with some adding text. We have this text here, okay? We have this text here. But we realize that we did not put a heading to our text. So we want to put a heading at the top, which is lecture 3. But when we click with the blinking cursor here, but we want the heading up here. Now, when we double click up here, we shall go inside the margin. We don't want to put that work inside the margin. We want it to be part of this. So in such a scenario, what we do, we create a space up. And how do we create a space up? So we click at the beginning. So you click at the beginning, and then you press enter button on the keyboard. Now, what does the enter button do? So the enter button moves you from one line to another line. And basically, we use the enter button to create paragraphs. So in this scenario, we are creating a new paragraph, but we are creating it up. So I come back up and I click up. As you can see now, a space has been created up, but it's still on the margins of the line. I'm not in the margin, but I'm still in the text area. So I can now type my heading, which is lecture 3. Okay. Now, I realize that in between these two paragraphs, in between the two paragraphs, I need to add a certain statement. But when I click here, as you can see, the cursor goes up. It doesn't come into the space. But I want to put the work inside this space. So I have two options. The first option, I can click at the end there. Then I press enter. Then I can type whatever I want to type. I want to put a paragraph 2. Okay, that is one way. That is one way. You click at the end and press enter. But if I don't use that, I can also click at the beginning of this paragraph down here and I press enter. Then I come back up and I type. So from today, I want all of you to practice how to use the enter button. When do you use the enter button? So use the enter button when we are creating paragraphs. So you can either use it at the end of a last paragraph, or you can use it at the beginning of the next paragraph. Now, I may have typed this paragraph here, but I realize that I want to create, but after this statement, after this word project, I realized that I was supposed to create a paragraph. So what I do, I click at the beginning of the, then I press enter. So there I will have created a paragraph. Okay. So before you go to bed today, practice as much as you can the enter button, what it does. We use the enter button to create paragraphs. Okay. Then let's look at the backspace and deleting of text. Backspace and deleting of text. Now, I realize that I have typed this word paragraph here, but maybe I didn't want that word. I wanted another word. So there are 3 ways of doing it. The first one, you can click at the end of that word. Then you press the backspace key on your keyboard. Now, I gave you those lessons of learning the keyboard. I don't know whether people practiced them in the first lecture or not. But still, you must have covered this in computer literacy. Okay? Computer literacy should have covered this. Because these are, here now we are doing computer applications, not computer literacy. So if you don't know these buttons of the keyboard, go to Google and put there keyboard lessons or keyboard buttons and what they do. For those of you who missed computer literacy. So you click at the end, then you press the backspace. So backspace means you are creating space behind. So you delete. Now, if I want to delete this space is too much, I want to delete it. Again, I'll press backspace and that space will be reduced. So if I press enter, I realize the space is too much, backspace. So there I'm reducing the space. That is one way of deleting a word. So to use backspace, it means you are going to click at the end of the word. You can also use the delete button on the keyboard. The backspace and the delete button, these are found on the right-hand side of your keyboard. So you click at the beginning. Now, when you're at the beginning, then you can press the delete button. So the difference between backspace and delete is backspace is going to delete all the text on the left-hand side of the cursor. Backspace will delete all the text on the left-hand side of the cursor. And delete button is going to delete all the text on the right-hand side of the cursor. So that is the difference between the two. So that is deleting. Another way, third way of deleting, say if I want to delete this word lecture, I can highlight it. Highlighting means you click and hold down the mouse, then you move within that line. That is what we call highlighting or selecting a text. So you click and you drag. So after selecting that which you want to delete, then you press the delete key on the button on the keyboard, so it will delete. Another way of selecting a single word, say if I just want this word lecture, if I want to select it easily, you can double click that word. So when you double click that word, it is selected and you press delete. So you double click a word like Eastwood. If I double click it, selected, then delete. Now, what if you want to delete the entire paragraph? So if you want to delete the entire paragraph, you select it, you click and drag down until when the paragraph ends. Then you hit the delete key. Or you can double click the paragraph 3 times. So you double click it 3 times, 1, 2, 3. So actually, instead of double clicking, you thrice click. Maybe that's a proper English, I can say thrice click. So you quickly click it 3 times. So the entire paragraph is selected. Then the moment you press the delete key, the entire paragraph is deleted. Now, what if you want to delete the entire text? If you had, now like I have 2 pages here, but if you had 500 pages and you want to delete them at once, or you want to select them at once, so there you use Control A. Control A on your keyboard, selects the entire text, then now this is a challenge in the exam. If you have typed a full page for over an hour and accidentally you delete all your work, like as we have done now, so there's no need to panic. The danger is in panicking. Don't panic. First settle down and breathe, okay? So don't save anything at that moment. So just use Control Z on the keyboard, that is undo. Control Z on the keyboard, undo. Or if you don't use Control Z, you can still use the undo button on the screen, which is up there. On the quick access toolbar, we have the undo. So you can use that undo. Okay, so this happens sometimes in the exam. You have typed all your work, you accidentally select it, and you type another letter. So when you hit any letter on your keyboard, it's going to replace your work. So in such a scenario, don't panic, okay? Don't save anything, just use undo, and your work will come back.
Wanje?
Hey.
Yange. Oh, someone is distracting.
Harmony, could you please mute your microphone?
Okay, I'm back. I had to run away from office to hide another place because so many people are distracting me in office. But I'm back. So we have been on a Control A for selecting the entire text. Now let us see saving our work. So after working on your work, you need to save it. Now let me assume this is a new document which doesn't have a name. Forget about the name which is there. Forget about that name. Let us assume it's a new document which has no name. Okay. So to save, we click on File. Another file we have Save and Save As. So save will save a file which already has a name. Like this one, if I want to save the changes, I'll just click on Save and that is it. But now I want to give this file a new name. I don't want to use this name. Okay. So I'm going to click on File and I choose Save As. Now, when you are saving the document for the very first time, even if you click Save, it will take you to the dialog box for Save As. So now Save As brings us to the location. Remember, we talked of locations in file when we are doing file management. We say the location is where you place your file. And we said you can place your file into documents, you can put it on a desktop, you can put it on a flash, you can put it on a logical drive. So when you look here, now this comes with the Windows 11. Those of you who have Windows 10, you may not see this OneDrive. So OneDrive saves to the cloud. Those of you I'm teaching information technology, we shall see this. So OneDrive saves to the cloud. But we click on Browse. If you don't want to save in the cloud, you click on Browse. So under Browse, you remember the File Explorer on the left. That's why we choose where to save our work. Remember in the File Explorer, So you have downloads, you have desktop documents, and so on. So it's up to you to choose where to save the work. So for example, I'm going to save this one on the desktop. But remember, on the desktop also you created folders. You may want to save it in a specific folder. So I want to save it in this folder here. So again, I'm going to double click, or I can right click and I choose open, as we said, or I can double click for the folder to open. So after the folder opens, then I'll come to file name here, file name. So I delete whatever name is there. Then I'll put there a name which I want to call my file. I'm going to name it lecture. Now, save as is a file type. So save as is a file type. You can leave that to a Word document. If you want to put a password in your work, you come to tools down here. Tools, then you choose general options. Then you can put a password. Remember, the password is case sensitive. If you put it in capital, it should be in capital. I'm not going to put a password in this one. So I'm going to just put lecture. Then I click on save. So you can see the name up here has changed to lecture. So you are free on your side to give it any name you want. So after saving our work, then we need to open that work. So if I close, I'm going to close this screen. So now I need to open that work. So there are three ways of opening the work. You can either go to the desktop where you saved your work. Remember, in file management, what we saw, you can go where your file is and double click your file, it will open. That is one way. The second way, you can open back Microsoft Word. You can open back Microsoft Word. So on the list here, your file is there. You double click on it, it will open. But if you don't see it on the list, you can click on open. So when you double click open, again, it is going to ask you for the location. It gives you a list of files. But in case you don't see the file on the list, you can still come to the location here, and then you come to browse. Then under browse, you go, always remember where you saved your work, okay? So I browse to the desktop, then I browse to the folder. So I have now my file here to open, then I double click and it will open. Okay, I hope that is okay. So we have seen a number of things so far. If there is no question, I continue. If there is a question, you can ask. Someone says repeat password. Okay, I'm going to do that. Now, as you have seen, I've opened this file and it has opened automatically, okay? But now I'm going to put a password in this file such that it doesn't open automatically. Only a person who has a password can open it. So I'm going to password protect it. Now, be very careful in the exam. Don't put any password in the exam, please. Otherwise, you'll send me your work to open. If I don't know your password, I'll give you a 0 because I've not seen your work. So don't use passwords in exam. Okay? Unless if there's a number, if the instruction is there that put such and such a password, then that's when you can put a password. But if there's no instruction to put a password, don't. Okay, let's say we use the password. So you go to File, again you choose Save As, you browse where to save your work. So you give your work a name. Now I'm going to use the same name because it's the same file. So this time I just want to put a password there. So I come to Tools. Hope I'm not too fast. Then I come to General Options. So under General Options, they require to put a password to open. So you put a password which you want. I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in mine. Okay. Now the password will show dots. Why? Because maybe your neighbor is around and the password should be known by you. That's why it is putting dots. Then you put a password to modify. Now password to open allows the person to open your document. But a person may not make changes. But if you want a person to make changes, then you give a password to modify. I'm also going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You are free to put your own passwords that side. So after, I'll click OK. So they are going to tell me to confirm the password. Re-enter password to open. So I will enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I'll click OK. Then re-enter password to modify. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I click OK. Then after, I'm going to click Save. So after saving, I'm going to close this document. Okay, now I'm going to open the document again and you see what will happen. Okay, so this is my document now. Now this time I'm using Recent Documents. Okay, so I'm going to double click to open it. So there I am. It is asking for the password to open. So if I don't know the password, that is the end of the story. It cannot open. So I have to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Then it is also asking for a password to modify. So if I don't have a password to modify, I will click Read Only. So Read Only allows me only to read, but that I can't make any changes in it. I can only read what is there. I can't make any changes. But if I put a password to modify, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then I can modify it. And that is it. Okay, someone has also reminded us in the chat that don't use passwords in exam. Don't use them. Unless there's an instruction which tells you to use a password. Okay, now saving has a shortcut. Now, anytime you click, you point on a tool like Save button, it shows you a shortcut which is Control S. Like when I click on File here, and I come to Save, so the same applies to this button here is a shortcut, but you can also use Control S on your keyboard, will also save. So that is a quick way of saving, not going through the long processes. Any question before I continue? Okay, let us try to use some tools today. Under the Home tab, we are going to begin with the clipboard group here. And in the clipboard group, we have the cut, we have the copy, we have the paste. These tools, we have already used them before. In file management, we have used the cut, we have cut files from one location to another. Copy, we have taken a copy of the file from one location to another, and we have used the paste. So we are going to do the same here. Let us begin with the cut. So we are going to select the first paragraph here with the heading. We are going to select that paragraph. So we want to move this paragraph away from here, and we put it at the very end of our work here, okay? So we are going to put it at the end. We are going to move it from the top and put it at the end. We want to make it the last paragraph. So we select that work. After selecting it, automatically the scissor will become active. Now, if it's not selected, the scissor is not active. It will only become active after you have selected. So you select, the moment you select it will become active, then you can click on the cut button, or you can use Ctrl X on the keyboard, or you can right click the very text that you have highlighted. You can right click it and you choose cut. Let us use this scissor here now. So the moment you click cut, it disappears. So when it disappears, I'll send this video because it is being recorded, this lecture. I'll send it for further revision. So when it disappears, then you can scroll where you want to put your text. So you click where you want to put the text. Then you click on the paste icon here. So you click on the paste icon, or you can use Ctrl V on your keyboard, or you can right click and you choose paste. So let me use the paste icon. So we have succeeded to move our paragraph from up, and we have brought it down. So that is cut and paste. Someone is asking how to remove the password from the document. Okay, let me handle that before I go to the next. So to remove the password which you put, you just go back to File. Then you go to Save As. Then you browse where you are going to save your work. You go to the very document. Don't change the document name. You go to the very document. Then you come to Tools. Under Tools, again, you go back to General. Now here, just delete away that password. Just delete away the password. And make it empty, then you can click OK. Then you save. So the issue is, you go back where you put a password from, then just delete it away, and then you save. That's how you remove the password. Another tool which you are going to look at is the copy. Now we want to copy this text from here and we put it into a new file, into a new document. This time we are not going to put the work here. We are going to copy the entire text and we put it into a new document. So how do we do this? Let us select all of our work. Remember, selecting all, we said we do what? If you have a question, you can just put it in the chat room. I will see it and I will answer to it. Any question, you put it in the chat room. I will see that question and I will give you the answer. Okay. So we want to copy this text and put it into another document. So we are going to use Ctrl A to select the entire text. So when you look at all of our work is selected, Then we are going to use the copy button or Control C on the keyboard. So use the copy button. Now, after copying the text, you are either going to click on File and then you click New Document, or you are going to press Control N on the keyboard. Those shortcuts, I say, please have a pen and a paper and write them down. These are notes for you and they will come in your quiz. We have a quiz test on Microsoft Word. We shall have a quiz test. I'll tell you when we shall have the quiz test, but be assured of a quiz test. We shall do a number of assignments, and these assignments will add up to our coursework. Okay, so I'm going to create a new document by clicking Control N. So then you paste that text there. Have you succeeded? So your text now has come inside the new document. Now I want you to save that new document as, you can press Control S, it will take you to save as. Okay? So you can give it any name you want. So that is copy and paste. Just give me about 10 minutes. I'm coming back. There's something I need to sort out here in the office. But meanwhile, you can practice what we have seen so far as I come back.
Members, is there anyone whose screen is frozen on this quick access bus stuff? I just want to know if it's my laptop having the problem or it's something general.
Yeah, also mine has also frozen on that thing. So it's also like that.
Okay,
Pleasure.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I'm doing office work at the same time. Okay, let us move to the font group, and that's where the handout. If time allows, I'll go into the paragraph, but let's do quickly the font group. Now, the font group helps us to work with the text.
excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so there is a way my screen, actually I tried to confirm if I'm the only one, but it's frozen on this quick access toolbar. There's also some other people who said that they have the same problem.
Quick access toolbar. Okay, let me
Yeah.
unshare so that I share again. Has it gone away now?
Yes, it has gone away.
Okay, let me share again. Have you got a better screen now?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. So we are now going to explore the font group. Now we change our text using the font group. You can change the appearance of a text using the font group. Now let us understand the tools under the font group. We have what we call a font. Now those of you who are doing IT, better understand these terminologies because they will be very crucial when you are doing web design. In your programming, you are going to write codes putting such things like font size, font this, underline. So those terms are going to come. If you don't understand them now, you find it hard later on when you are doing web designing. But when you understand them now, web design will be very easy because exactly these are the terminologies which are used. So let us understand these terminologies. So when we talk of font, we basically mean the type of writing your text is in or character. Like all of us here, we have different handwritings. If we begin to write, each one will have a different handwriting. So even on the computer, you can take a font to be a type of handwriting. Some programs will call it font face, but remains font. Now, when you look here on my screen, the type of font I'm using is Times New Roman. So it means my work is in Times New Roman. So I can change just a paragraph by highlighting it, or I can change my entire document by pressing Ctrl A, which we saw. Then I come to this drop-down arrow and I click on it. When I click on it, I have a list of fonts. So as you scroll through, you'll see your work changing. You have various fonts. You will see your work changing as you scroll through. So when you reach a font you like, then you click on it. So your work will change and take that font. So that is how you change the entire text. Ctrl A selects the entire text. Then you change the font to any font you want. Or it could be that a certain paragraph is what you want to change. So you highlight that paragraph. Then you come to font. So you look for the font which you want to give that paragraph. You select it. So that is font. Then next to it is the font size. Font size. Now you'll see that in the brackets, there is a short form of how to get it to it. Even in the font, in the bracket, you have Ctrl plus Shift plus F. Then font size, you have Ctrl plus Shift plus P. Now these shortcuts make you more professional, even at your workplace. When people see you not using the mouse, they will know you're a professional in using Microsoft Word. Because the mouse, any learner uses it. Okay, so if I want to change the size of this second paragraph, I'll highlight it. Then I come to font size, click the drop down arrow and select, move your mouse over a size you want. Then you click that size. You can as well type the size you want there. Some sizes are not there. Say for example, if I want size 25, when you look there is no 25. So I just type 25 and I press enter. Again, to reduce the size, just go back, select a smaller size. You can also use these two. The increase, you can increase using click on that A with the arrow pointing up. You can also reduce with the arrow pointing down. That is font size. Then let us create a line up and we put a heading. At our heading, we are going to put our fonts. That is our heading. I'm going to change the font to Bookman old style. Now we are going to work on this heading to change it. First of all, we want to make it bold. Bold means it is darker compared to this other text. So I'll highlight it. First of all, I'm going to change its size to make it bigger. So I'll make it size 36. Then I'm going to make it bold to make it darker. So again, bold, you can use Ctrl plus B on the keyboard. Then there is italic. Italic makes it written slanting. Then I may want to underline it. Shortcut is Ctrl U, but you can click on it to underline. Now, anytime you see a drop down arrow, it means there are more options. Anytime you come to a tool and it has a drop down arrow, it means there are more options for that tool. Now, the bold and italic, they don't have a drop down arrow. But when you look at this, there's a drop down arrow. So you click on that drop down arrow, you have various types of lines to choose from. Like I have a double line. So in exam, I can tell you double underline. So that's how we double underline. You can also change the color of the underline. So in exam, they can tell you, make the underline color green. So it means you click and come to underline color. So you select whatever color is in the question, say if it is green. So now I have put a double underline and green. Let me expand this so that you can see it very well. Okay. I have used the zoom slider to expand it. Okay. Now, if I want to remove the bold, again, I will select it and I click back on the same button, it removes it. If I want to remove the italic, I click back on the same button. If I want to remove the underline, I click back on the same button. Someone is calling me, just a well, I had lost internet connection, but I'm back. Okay. I want to end this because I have another lecture coming on online. So in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to end this, but I want to end with a font group. So we have seen this, then we have the strike through. So if I select a text like that and I hit the strike through, so this one means this text is cancelled. I have not deleted it, but I have cancelled it. So like in your research, the lecturer can return your work like this. So it means he has cancelled that, okay? So it's not deleted, but it's cancelled. Or you can highlight back and you click on it. Then we have the superscript and subscript. Now, I want to write water. Water is H2O in chemistry, okay? So these two must come down here. So you highlight that and then use the subscript button. Also in mathematics, if I want to write X plus Y to the power 2 equals 5. Remember this 2 here has to be up, okay? So I'm going to highlight it and I click on superscript. So even here I can say X to the power 3. Highlight superscript. If I want to write 40 degrees Celsius, so I first type 400, then C, then I'm going to highlight this 0 here, and I'm going to use superscript. If I want to return it back, highlight on it, click back on superscript. Click on it. The same applies to this, select. So you can do as much practice as you can. Then we have text effects. I just want to type a word, happy birthday. Okay. So if we select this and you come to text effects there, so you can choose any effect you want your word to take. And increase the size. So this you see in the cards that you buy. You can also do it yourself. Just come there, choose any effect. Do this in your practice. You have a number of them. Practice them. Reflection. Do you need a reflection on it? So you select. So in your free time, practice all of this. The grow, how does it work? Okay. Then we have text highlighter. So in case you're having a text like this, you want to review it later, so you can use a text highlighter. Now this is like a marker pen. When you're reading a book, you can highlight a sentence like a novel for future reference. So there I use a text highlighter. You just click on a drop-down arrow. You choose any color you want. Then you click and you drag over, text that color. You click and drag over. So after using it, you click back to return it. You can even change and have another color. Text highlighter. After using it, you return it. Now this is not shading. We shall see the shading button here. Many students in exams, when you tell them to shade, they do this. This is wrong. I will cancel it. Shading button is this. We shall see how it does in the next lecture. So to remove the text highlighter, you go back and you click on no color. Then you click and you drag over. Then you return it. Then the next button is called font color. Font color puts colors inside your work. So like this font here, I want to change its color, so I will highlight it. Then I will click on a drop down arrow there. I choose any color I want, it will take that color. Highlight. Come to font color. Choose any color of your choice. These are simple things, just playing with the mouse. But practice will make it perfect. Then we have change case. Change case changes to sentence case, lowercase, uppercase, capitalize each word, and toggle. Now, like this paragraph here, if I want to capitalize all the letters, I'll highlight. Then I go to change case, uppercase, we turn everything capital. Sentence case, you can practice this in your free time and you see what it does. Capitalize each word is a capital letter. Toggle case, let me leave it at sentence case. In your free time, you can practice that. These two we have already seen. And the last one is this, clear formatting. So clear formatting takes your work back into its original. So if I select my work and I click clear formatting, so my work will go back as it was when I first typed it. Now, one last tool which I left behind is called Format Painter, and I want to end with this one. Format Painter. Now, I'm going to change this word fonts. Now, there's a shortcut menu here which you can use if you don't need to go up. So I'm going to choose HP Simplified. That is the font I'm going to choose. And size, I'm going to make it size 24. I'm going to give it a red color. And I'm going to underline it. Right. Now, I want to change this paragraph here to look exactly the same as this, without going through that struggle of highlighting, change this, change this, change that. But I want it exactly to look like this. So what I do, I select that text which has the formatting style which I like. And I'm going to click on Format Painter. In otherwise, I'm copying the formatting style there. So when I click on it, so it is going to, my mouse is going to come with a brush. So I'm going to scroll and I go to the text I want to change. I click and I drag. So it will take on that. As you can see, let me repeat. So I make a formatting on a text. I make any formatting I want on that text. So after I select that text, I can even select just one letter, one character. Then I click on Format Painter. Then I scroll to what I want to look exactly like that. Then I click and I drag. So it will become exactly that. Okay, thank you for today's lecture. I want to end there. I think we have had enough. I'll set a practice. It's not an assignment. What I will send in a group is not an assignment, but it's just for you to practice these skills until when we meet for the next lecture. It is not a coursework, it's not assignment. Those who want to do it, you can do it. Those who don't want, you can leave it. But those of you, after doing it, if you want me to look at it, you can send it to me and let me know that you have sent your work, then I can look at it. But it's not part of assignment. It is optional. Those who don't want to do it, you are free not to do it. Okay? I want to end here unless there's any question to ask me. At noon, I have another lecture. I want to end here. Any question? Okay, there are no questions. I wish you a good day. This has been recorded. I will give you a link to access this lecture for practice. Okay, have a nice day.